Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you how to make this 3-piece bustier. If you want to know how it's done, stay tuned and don't forget to give this tutorial a good thumbs up. So over here guys, I'm going to go ahead and trace off my front pattern. If you want to know how to draft this pattern, please check out my tutorial that I'll post a description down below. Now, once I'm done drafting my front pattern, I'm going to measure from shoulder to under bust, and it's going to be 14 inches. And I'm going to now mark a straight line across the pattern paper to identify that this is the under bust measurement. Now, once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead up to the shoulder and divide the shoulder into two and mark a line. And I'm going to extend the line all the way to the bust point line. So right at the bust point line, I am going to mark a 4 inches, which is going to be apex to apex measurement divided by 2. So I'm going to go ahead and create my radius over there of around 4 inches. Now once I am done on the chest line, I'm going to go in by half of an inch and then mark down by 1 inch, which is exactly to the bust point line in my case. So right at the top, I'm going to go down by half of an inch, and then from one side I'm going to mark 1 inch, and then onto the other side mark 1 inch to create a dot. And then I'm going to connect this dot right on the bust point line. Now the next thing is to connect this two line right on the chest line, and right on the bust point line I am going to blend this line to the under bust as shown on the screen. So right on the center front I am going to mark half an inch going up on the bust line, and then I'm going to go in again by half of an inch. So as you can see there, I am going to connect it with that 1 inch mark of the dot that we've marked, and then now create a dot that is connecting it to the bust point line. Now this line, we're not going to make use of it anymore. So we need to create the upper cap, and that is the other stage of creating our bustier. So over here I'm going to mark 1.5 inches, and right on the side I'm going to mark 2 inches and then connect the 2 points. And also onto the other side, right on the inside, I am going to mark 1.5 inch, and also on the side I'm going to mark 2 inches going down. Then connect the 2 points. Now we need to do the under bust contouring. So I am going to extend the dart leg all the way up, and as if you notice, my ruler is placed on a straight line, so I'm just going to extend that line to the under bust like so. This is to open up the legs right on the under bust. Now moving on to the shoulder, I'm going to mark half an inch on one side and half an inch on the other side because I want this bustier to have a strap. So my strap is going to be around 1 inch wide. So I'm going to extend this strap all the way right before the cups. And then now guys, we are done drafting our front pattern. Don't forget to label A1 and 2B as shown on the screen. Once we are done cutting out our front pattern, it's time for us to close the dot right on the cradle, and you can go ahead and separate the two panel, but I'm going to close the dot and cut it as one piece. Now for the back pattern is going to be easy. I am going to go ahead right on the zipper panel and mark 6.5 inches, and that's how low the back is going to be, and I'm going to connect the 6.5 inches right on the chest line or on the underarm line. And then the next thing is to open up the dart leg for the back, and I'm just going to place the line or the ruler straight like so, just to open up the dart leg. Now guys, once we are done doing that, I want to cut out the two separate pieces, and I'm going to close the zipper panel over here and separate this back piece, and I'm going to mark it as 3 and 4. And please guys, do not forget to create some notches, as we are going to be cutting this pattern on fabric. So now guys, I am going to create a strap for the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back top piece, and I'm going to mark right on the shoulder, find the center point of the shoulder measurement as shown on the screen, and then 1/2 inch one side, extend the line all the way to the dart line over there. And now we know how long our strap will have to be. So guys, over here I'm identifying with arrows how I'm going to be placing the straps on my fabric, and I'm going to later on join them together to become one strap on fold. So guys, I went ahead and I added seam allowance right on my pattern for panel A and 2B on the upper cup. I joined them together, then I added seam allowance all around, including the lower cup 1 and 2. I went ahead and I added seam allowance, which is around 1/2 inch or 1 centimeter seam allowance all around my pattern. So also on the cradle or the frame, I went ahead and I added seam allowance right on the inside cup, and on the center front it's definitely going to be cut and fold as shown here on the screen. And guys, for the two back panel pieces, I went ahead and I added seam allowance except at the bottom, and because the side seam already my pattern had seam allowance, so you can also, if your pattern doesn't have seam allowance on the side, go ahead and add seam allowance right on the side. So guys, our pattern is complete. I hope you enjoy making this project. As for me, see you on the next one.